So what I want to go through here is we're going to take a tour of the website. When we first log into the website, the very first thing you're going to see every time you log into the website is the commentary pages. What comes up here, and this is updated if you look towards the very top, anytime we're on some type of an article, which we are right over here on the left-hand side where it says articles, you can read these, and these come out anywhere from 1 to twice a week, and it just says the commentary is updated every Sunday and Wednesday. So if you want to read about what we think has happened in the stock market, where our thoughts are, where opinions are, just kind of our 2 cents worth in the overall market, this is updated every Sunday and every Wednesday. Sunday usually by noon, and Wednesday is usually by about 5 p.m. because we have to wait until after the market closes. So we just kind of give you an idea of what's happened in the market, maybe some charts on where the Dow's at, still kind of like in a little bit of a sideways move here, wait for a little bit of a breakout. And all of these are items you'll learn more about reading charts if you're not familiar with them in your life class. Here's a chart of the Dow, here's a chart of the NASDAQ. Looks like it had a little bit of a breakout here, and so bullish crossovers. Again, things we'll talk about in your life class. But this is the first thing you see every time you log on to the website is just the commentary page. Now, excuse me, once you're in here, we're on the home page right now, so you can't ever get lost. Just click on the home page, it takes us right back to our commentary page where we are right now. Across the very top, contact us if you need to get a hold of us for some reason. Stock scanner page, which we will, if I click on it, we got a whole bunch of different types of scans, and we're going to cover some of those tonight. Articles, current articles, and here's where we're at right now. So if I click on commentary, it's the same thing as if I go over here on the left-hand side and click on commentary as well. If I go to covered calls here, it's the same thing as if I click on covered calls right over through here. Your profile, if you need to, for any reason, go in and update your username, your password, your telephone number, your address, your credit card. Here's where you would do all of that right side here of your profile, and obviously to log off. If I want to look at any kind of a chart right up here on the top left-hand corner, and let's say I want to take a look at Apple, I can either type in Apple here and then click Get Quote, or I can just type in Apple here and Get Quote. Both of these boxes do the exact same thing. And by the way, no matter what page of the website you're on, you're always going to have this whole top section here, never goes away, and this whole section right through here on the left-hand side is there. So you can't really get lost. Those 2 sections are always there. They kind of frame the overall website for us. So if I click on Apple, Get Quote, up comes a chart of Apple for us. And from here, every time we go back and we take a look at a chart, we're always going to have 2 charts on our website. We have an intraday chart that's about a 5-day chart right through here. Tells us our stock, Apple, what the last traded price of the stock was, how much it was up or down for the day, volume for the day, and the actual date, and coming through here. So this would have been, since this is now Sunday, this would have been on a Friday. The 5-day chart, and so here is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days come right here. So we have a 5-day chart on Apple. You kind of take a look and see what it's doing. Beneath that, we have the overall chart of Apple. This is going to be a 6-month chart, and we look at these for 2 different reasons, and again, we'll cover these in your life class. If I'm looking at placing a trade, I want to see what the overall trend is, and I'll look at this chart here first. Now, once I decide which one I'm going to trade, uptrend, sideways trend, or downtrend, I'll then go back up and take a look at the intraday chart to see which way it's going. And if I'm thinking about placing a trade and intraday, I see that it looks like it's kind of getting stronger and stronger and stronger intraday, I don't want to waste too long because it's getting stronger, and I could probably get a good price right now. If I wait too long, I'm going to get a worse price. But if I'm thinking about placing a trade and I'm watching it intraday from this day here to this day here, and this would be 9:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. right through here. But if I'm watching that trade throughout the day, let me go back to where you're just at, and I'm seeing it getting weaker and weaker and weaker, I'm thinking, I'm thinking about placing a trade right now. I might wait a little while because the stock's getting cheaper and I can actually get a better price. So we're going to go over how to read both of these charts, the intraday chart, which is this top one, and then the overall chart down here. I can change the time frame for a 9-month or a 3-year chart, whatever I'm after, or 1-month chart. But by default, they're usually set here at about 6 months for you. So this is our chart page. Now, on the chart page, intraday chart, overall chart, which is a 6-month chart, and this is the first chart you look at really is a 6-month chart. Which way is the overall trend really moving? Beneath that, we've got the fair value. We've talked about the fair value already in probably some previous previews you've taken with us, but it just tells you what the current price of stock should be. So if you put your mouse right there and it just says, this is the Warren Buffett calculation, you'd like to buy the stock at or below this price. So if you can buy the Apple at or below that price, you got a good deal. all of the analysts who follow this, and there are 27 different analysts who follow this, think it's worth about $162 a share. What's the current price of Apple right now? About 148.5, 148.60. So that's way over the Warren Buffett target price, but below the analyst target price. So the analysts are saying probably could go a little bit higher, but you're still paying too much for something. It's kind of like buying a house in Silicon Valley. You know you're going to overpay for it based on what you might pay for that same house somewhere else across the United States, but doesn't mean it can't go higher. You're just overpaying for it. So I prefer to see if I can't buy something at or below this price going forward. Beneath the fair value for the stock, we have the news for the company. Now, if I want to look for longer periods of news, I can scroll up to the top of Apple up here, and I can just click on the News tab, and then from here I can go back and say, from what date to date do I want to check on the overall news? So charts, fair value, news, and then beneath this, obviously we have our good stock, almost good stock, average stock, bad stocks, and here's where we get to see, is Apple a good stock? So here's my company, Apple. So if I want to look at the PE ratio here for Apple, and we're going to go over these in detail at your live class. How does this work? Where does this information come from? Why is it reliable? Why do we even want to take a look at it? But it just says, what's the PE ratio for Apple? 2908. All the stocks in the same industry for Apple have a lower PE ratio. Now, we would like our stock, if we're not sure we'd like to be right here, it says ideal scenario, click on it. It tells you what is the PE ratio, why is that important. You can go back and look at that later on. But I would like my PE ratio here to be as low as possible. And I can see that Apple at 2908 has a higher PE than its industry sector and the S&P 500. So that's why everything's red, because Apple does not do a very good job compared to those. So you see a lot of red, that's bad. A lot of green, that's good. Now again, we're going to go over all of this in detail at your live class. Beneath this, we have average volume for Apple, trades about 64 million shares a day. Zach's current rank score, we'll cover that at your live class. I don't want to get into that too much right now. This is important here, the next earnings report date. The next time Apple's expected to announce their earnings, it's kind of like getting a report card for your company. It's going to be on November 4th, and we want to know that because if we're thinking about buying the stock around November 4th, what that means is it could have a big move up or a big move down based on the news. So we want to always be aware of those dates. And if it's optionable, so that we can go ahead and fix a bad trade if we have to, or write cover calls on it. So this is what's on the stock page. Every time we pull up some type of a ticker symbol over here or over here, both of them do the exact same thing. If you don't know what the ticker symbol for a stock is, you can click here where it says symbol lookup. And then from the symbol lookup, we can go ahead and find out more about what we're after through here. So search for a name. Let's say we want to find what Microsoft was. So we could just type in MICROS, and it's a stock. Yep, it's a stock, and it trades in the USA. So click search, and now up comes every stock that starts with a name or has the name MICRO somewhere in there. And we can go down here till we see Microsoft Corporation right here at MSFT. So we can find the ticker symbol, just click on it, but that would be the ticker symbol for Microsoft MSFT if you ever had to go back and find one. If I want to look at options for the stock, I could look over here in the options tab, read some news, find out more about what the company does on the company tab, where they're located at, who runs the company, that kind of information. The financials, if you actually like to look at the financials, if the insiders are buying or selling shares of the stock, what they're doing, some of their corporate filings, last earnings reports, and some historical price information over here as well. So all of this is on the stock page. So we type in a ticker symbol. Also, kind of important for us, across the very top through here, there's a button up here that says Market Calendar. And this is important to take a look at because if I click on this, it tells me if there's any type of a major news announcement coming up on a specific date. So anything that's in red dot or yellow highlight through here, Consumer Confidence Report is coming out on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Just kind of want to be aware of that because anything that's in yellow like this, it has the ability, this report coming out, has the ability to make the markets either move up or down. So if you're thinking about placing a trade, you might want to wait until after 10 o'clock on Tuesday because you don't know what the markets are going to go back and do. So it's kind of too iffy. So you might say, well, I got a really good stock I'm going to buy, only to have our consumer confidence number come out really negative and the whole market drops. And you think I could have got a better price. So that's the market calendar, economic calendar through here. Anything in yellow is what you really have to pay attention to because that has the ability to move the market. And that's right up through here on the very top. If we kind of go back through here now, We have the commentary page we looked at. Over here on the left is the covered call page. So I can either look over here, where I'm at right now, covered calls, or I can go up to the very top where it says articles, current articles, and look at covered calls. These are updated. If we go up to the top of the page here, updated every Sunday and every Wednesday. So what we do here is we actually try to find some good looking covered call trades for you that we think actually look pretty good, that we've already run the numbers on. And so the first one here, which is ECPG, trading around $48 a share. And then we give you two different options to write a covered call. Buy the stock now, sell this option. You're only going to get about 2.6% on your money, but that's for about a 2-week trade. So it's about 5% a month. So it's about a 2-week trade. Or this one here, which is a little bit more, if we really thought the stock was going to have a big move, I might choose the $50 call. So based on what I think the stock's going to do, maybe move sideways or slightly up, or have a big rally, then I would choose these. And we're going to cover these in detail at your live class, teaching you how to write covered calls, because that's going to be the majority part of your training. If I scroll down, it talks about the stock, ECPG, who are they, what they do. They're actually listed as a good quality stock in our database. Here's their fundamentals. Lots of green on through here. Scroll down a little bit beneath this, and it just talks about the technical part of the trade here. What do we like about this? And here's the chart kind of covering the same thing right through here. And then it says the trade. Purchase the stock now at or below the closing price of 41, and then sell the September 47.50 calls. And it just kind of tells you what the trade is. How do you place a trade? What should you look at? So once you've actually gone through the class to understand covered calls, this will mean quite a bit from you or for you, and you might decide this is where you're going to find most of your stocks that you want to go back and trade with for your covered calls. You don't even have to do a covered call. You might decide to do a leaps option or maybe even just a straight call option on them. But here we do a lot of the work for you and try to find some good looking trades that you can go back and use. That's on the covered call tab here on the left-hand side of the page. Beneath that, we have a stock pick section. And on the stock picks, we kind of do the same thing. Start off with as a trading signal. What do we think of the overall markets? And this is the S&P 500, the benchmark for the U.S. marketplace. And again, all of this will be taught at your class here. But just as right now, trading signals, we should be feeling pretty good about trading. And we still expect the markets to be moving higher going forward. So that would be the green light. If we thought it was a yellow light, this would be yellow right in through here. And we'll just say probably the market's going to go up a little bit, down a little bit more sideways. And if it was a red light, we're saying good chance the markets are probably ready for some kind of a pullback in the very near future. So it just kind of tells you what we think of the overall markets and should we be going bullish, up, neutral, sideways, or bearish, trading to the downside. And then from here, we actually go back and we give you a couple of stock picks that we like. So here's a new one we just looked at here. It's called ticker symbols WELL, why we like the stock. Kind of scroll down through here. And here's a chart. See, it looks like it's just bouncing off of some type of a double bottom here, which is a bullish reversal signal, followed by a green arrow, and the MACD's turned green here on Monday. So kind of what we like about the stock was there's any news about it, why we thought this might be a good entrance signal. So we actually go back and follow those for you, and we update these for you every Sunday and every Wednesday. Same thing over here, type of situation. We have spread trades. For those of you who like to do spread trades, it's just like the covered calls, just like the stock picks. We actually give you 2 new trades, and we update these only on Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, we give you 2 new trades that we think look pretty good, and you might be interested in some of these trades. And again, if you're a spread trader, you might go back and take a look at these. 14% return on a 2-week trade and what the actual trade is. So we'll cover some of this at your live class on the spread trades. Beneath that, we have a leaps play. And this is just a really long-term option. What is a leaps trade right now? This one here looks like we're looking at First Horizon Corporation, FHN. What do we like about this? This is more of a longer-term trade. If you're thinking about just buying a stock and hanging on, that would be a leaps trade. Or buying a long-term option and maybe write some covered calls against it, something we'll cover in our class. This is a good stock. See, it's got lots of green coming through here. We take a look at take a look at some of the information through here. Analyst target price for the stock, where it's currently trading right now. Analyst target price is a little bit higher through here. Here's our chart. We can see that it had a pretty good pullback coming through here. And recently our lows, red line, red line, red line, our lows are starting to get higher. And the stock is currently now for about the last 5 weeks making higher lows and higher highs, with some green arrows just starting to kind of pop up through here. So what do we like about this stock longer term? Where do we think it's going to go to? We actually put on here 1769 is our very first resistance level through here. What price the option should be if it goes to 1969, somewhere up here where it used to be just a couple of months ago. Our option price should be worth about 415, and that'll give us about an 80% return on our money. So a longer term trade. So we've got some trades over here for you to go back and follow on the left-hand side. We've got some homework. Koval trend indicator on the left-hand side is a nice one. A lot of our students use over and over and over. Now here, we take a look at where the markets are bullish, bearish, or neutral on here. And the way we look at this is we start off by the S&P 500 benchmark for the marketplace. And again, if you've got a question, just go ahead and type it up here in the question section. I'll be happy to answer it for you. I know I talk fast, so for those of you who are new, you're thinking, I don't know what to ask right now. That's okay. If you don't know what to ask, just listen as I go through a tour. If you got a question, just go ahead and pop it up. But we start off with the S&P 500, and what do we think the markets are going to do? And we've got three lines on here. We've got a green line, a blue line, and a red line. And the way that we read these, and we're just kind of what's after what's happening right now, and let me just kind of highlight those for you. We're really after this little section right here is what we're after. And what we'd like to see is all of those kind of heading up or staying up at the very top side up through there. So if I go up, here's what we're looking for. We can see the Koval trend indicator here. When all three lines are low, like the green line here, and the red and blue are low, and they start to kind of turn higher and move up, that means the markets are ready for a good rally. When all three lines, the green line, the red and blue, like right in through this time frame here, turned lower, we expect the overall markets to start selling off. But right now, what I can see is my blue line just turned up here a couple of days ago. My red line is still moving higher, and my green line is still at the top. So as long as they're all heading higher or up at the top, I'm just fine. It's when all three of these lines, green, blue, and red, drop beneath this 70% level here. Now we're starting to turn a little bit negative, and I will expect the overall market to start to drop and to sell off. So that's what that's telling me. So I just kind of want to be aware of that. And we'll cover this at your live class too. I'm just kind of giving you a rundown on some things to look at. So the way you read these is right up and through here. The bullish signal, all three lines are moving above the 30% level. So right here's 30% level, these little dots, and you're just reading the far right-hand side. Here's 30%. So when all three lines are moving above the 30%, the markets are going to rally. When all three lines, negative, are moving down below the 70% level, the markets are going to drop. And this is your 70% level here. So when the green finally starts to drop beneath that and your red and blues drop, the markets are going to sell off for you. So this is more longer term. It doesn't mean it's going to be for 1 or 2 days. This might be for a couple of weeks. You're going to see a difference on through here. All right, so this is the Koval trend indicator. We have, under this, we have technical talk. And here's where we actually, every time we go back and we start writing about some technical indicators, what we think is, what are pitchforks, what are double bottoms, just technical indicators, how to read charts. We update this, update it every Sunday, and you can go back if you'd like into the past article section right through here on the left-hand side and click on technical talk and say, I'd like to take a closer look at how to read charts, or what is the 200-day moving average? What's the accumulation distribution line? And there are all kinds of articles on here for you to go back and read. What is a double top setup? What does that really mean? How about some of the economic indicators? Which ones are most important? How does the Koval indicator work? One we just took a look at. How about the can slim indicators? How about a cup and handle? Click on it, and it just kind of tells you what is a cup and handle and how does it work. It's a pretty short article. They're usually only about 5 or 6 paragraphs with lots of charts on to make it easy to read. But if you're a person who likes to read charts and you want to learn a lot more about how to read charts, right over through here on the left-hand side of the page, technical talk. Beneath that one, we have learning curve. This is a little bit different for those of you who know that the stock market isn't just learning how to trade and how to pull a trigger and how to monitor a position and when to go back and sell, but you know that that's a mental game as well. We've got a licensed psychiatrist that on staff here, and he actually writes articles about what's the learning curve, what are some of the things you want to go back and learn about how to go back and trade, what are some of the holdups that might stop you from actually making some money. Some people just don't believe that they deserve to make it, whatever it might be. This right here just is an observation of my fellow trading students and of myself. I've noticed a strange phenomenon. When we make money in a trade, we're excited and feel confirmed, but when we lose money, we're depressed and feel bad. People say, why is that? That's sick. Very simple. So you can go back, it talks about the trading mentality, and that's a big part of making money. And you can also go back here under learning curve under some of the past articles and read some of the past ones as well. Rocket Science Made Easy, Life at the Edge. These are all just kind of tongue-in-cheek names to that, but they all have something to do with the mental blocks we have in our head about trading. When losing money is actually okay, as good as it gets. Scars, engagement, how not to trade, Harry Varden on trading. So lots and lots of articles on here about just the psychology of investing. Whole bunch of stuff that we have access to through here. That's under, all of this is under the current articles. Then we have the past articles we just kind of talked about through here, and a glossary of financial terms. Sometimes you're going to hear people talk in the stock market and they're going to say, hey, have you heard about this? Or they're going to use a term on CNBC or Bloomberg or Fox Business News, whatever you like to listen to. You're going to hear a term, you don't know what it is. Click on glossary of financial terms, and it'll say, hey, you know, my broker said they're charging me a 12B1 fee on my mutual fund. What is that? Well, here's what a 12B1 fee is. What is a 401k and how does it work? What's a 403B? Or say, let's click under the L's over here in the very top. What is laddering? What's a lapse? So these are all just financial terms if you want to go back and find them. And there are thousands of terms on here through here. So if you've heard about something you don't know what it is, a great place to go back and look at them is glossary of financial terms. Okay, so that's it, kind of on the left-hand side. Across the top, let's cover some of my more common items I like to go. And we'll come back to the portfolio management here at the very last part. But let's say we go back to the stock scanner, which is really my favorite place to go back and be. So click on the stock scanner page, and then we have quite a few of the scans come up on the very first page here. So if I want to take a look, excuse me, if I want to take a look and say, show me all the stocks that had 3 green arrows as of today. Now this would be updated each day at 5:15 p.m. and these are Eastern Standard Time or Eastern times. So stock market closes for us at 4 Eastern. So it takes about an hour for all the data to come in and then about 15 minutes to compile everything before we post it. Sometimes it's done a little bit before that, but about 5:15 Eastern, this will be updated. So if you want to see what stocks had 3 green arrows as of the close of business today, and if you do this at nighttime, so you say, I'm going to look for a trade to place tomorrow. So click right here, it says click details. This would be 3 green arrows, a 3 red arrow surge. Stocks just broke out to new highs. Stocks that just broke through the floor. But let's click view details. And then through here, right now we're scanning tens of thousands of stocks in the database. And we pull up every single one that had 3 green arrows as of the previous day's close. And so these are currently ranked in order of, we take every stock that's a good stock first, and then we rank the good stocks by volume. Highest volume to the next highest volume to the next, all the way down till there's no more good stocks left. We have to go to the next page. And then once we get down to the very bottom, then we start getting into the almost good stocks. Would be the next one, almost good stocks. Then we rank those by the highest volume to the next highest volume all the way down. Let's just go back to the first one. So this is a really cool search to find some just really good stocks that have 3 green arrows as of today. So if I just go across the top, ticker symbol first here is MOS, is my ticker symbol. When their next earnings are going to come out, so I know that when I should pay attention, name of the company, what sector that they're in, how the stock ranks, stock's average volume, and the fair value. Put your mouse there and it says that as long as the stock is trading at or below 33.15, you're getting a really good deal. Analysts say it should be worth at least 39, and the current stock is only at 32.65. I just got some 3 green arrows today. And I can look down the next one here, FSM. And so all I really do is I start on the right-hand side, and I know that every stock on the list has 3 green arrows, so all of them are going to be good stocks first, then almost good, then average and bad. So I'm just going to kind of scroll down until I see a chart that I like. Boom, I like that chart. I'm really just looking for something that not only has 3 green arrows, but has 3 green arrows and it's heading higher. So I like this one, BLDR, about $53 a share, and it's under the analyst target price and under the fair value price. That's the 2 green check marks. It's good stock. I like that one. So how quickly do we find a really good quality stock that's in an uptrend, good stock, undervalued? So I'm just going to click on the ticker symbol over here on the left-hand side, BLDR. And here's my chart. I like that chart. What did it just do? Not only did it just make into a new high because it broke through the ceiling here, but it did so on 1 green arrow back here, a 2nd green arrow. I've got 3 green arrows. You see the 3rd one just came yesterday, and it just went through the ceiling. So now I've got a good quality stock trading at $53 that's worth about $59. That's where it should be trading at, and it's a really good quality stock. Wow, okay, so I like that one. So this might be a stock I'm interested in placing a trade on. So that'd be a stock I'm interested. Or I can go back and just kind of scroll down the list and see if I see a different one. I like this stock. That's in an uptrend, moving higher. It has 3 green arrows. I know it's got 3 green arrows because that was my search. I'm looking at 3 green arrows. Now, if the background here I'm looking at here, this background through here has a really green background, it means that it not only had 3 green arrows, it had 3 green arrows on a volume spike. So that might be interesting to take a look at as well. But if I go down here, I can see this is Goldman Sachs. It's trading around $419 a share. Analysts say it's worth about $410. The fair value is $558. It's a good stock. Let's click on GS, Goldman Sachs. By the way, the banks are doing well right now. So how does this stock look? Okay, so right off the bat, first thing I look at, stock is in an uptrend. I like an uptrend. Stock has 3 green arrows. 1, 2, 3. It's undervalued. It's worth about $558 a share, and it's a good quality stock. Bam, I've got a good looking stock. I like Goldman Sachs. The stock looks okay to me. So now I've got a really good looking stock. It's in an uptrend with 3 green arrows, and it's a good quality stock, and it's undervalued. It's a really quick system. If I'm just trying to look for a good stock to trade, I've got one. Now, do I want to buy the stock? Do I want to do a cover call on it? Do I want to do an options trade? Those are things you'll learn at your live class. But right now, in order to find a good stock, it doesn't take very long to find a good quality stock. The system will do that work for you. Let's go back up to the top of the page here. Click under the stock scanner page again. We looked at 3 greens. If we were in a really bad market right now, maybe we're in a sustained sell-off, inflation's kind of moving higher, the Fed's starting to raise the discount rate, which means that interest rates are moving higher, the market's selling off, I might actually want to look for a bad stock, so I'd start looking for maybe some of these 3 red stocks. If I want to see, show me all stocks that just went through the ceiling today to start a brand new upside move, I can click on this one. And these are ranked just like the last ones. They're ranked from good quality stocks first, good quality stocks first, by volume all the way down. And you can see that BLDR was on this one over here as well because it went through the ceiling. And you just kind of scroll down and look for any stocks that you might be interested in. So stocks that are moving through the ceiling, which just means they went through their resistance level. And we'll teach you again how to read charts going forward at your live classes. So nice way to kind of go back and do some of those. If I want to just say, hey, just show me all the really good stocks in the database. And I click right here, it says view details. And there are tens of thousands of stocks in the database. But if I scroll down to the very bottom of the page here, look at how many actually good quality stocks are in there out of tens of thousands of stocks. Only 295 stocks are actually good. These are like A+ stocks, really good quality stocks. Doesn't mean I want to buy all of them. Some of them, fair value isn't there. Because remember, the good quality is just the fundamentals. This is what the discount, this is what the Warren Buffett price says it should be right over through here. And just put your mouse on there, it tells you where it should be. So, but this right here's got 2 greens, but it's in a little bit of a downtrend. So you just kind of scroll down until you see 2 green arrows and say, do I like the trend? Yep, like ABBV over here. ABBV, undervalued, and it's moving which direction? Uptrend. I like that one. So now I know I've got a good stock. How do I know it's a good stock? Because that was my search. Look for good stocks. That's what the search was, good stock search. That's in an uptrend, and it's undervalued. So now maybe I want to go back and trade that one. So there's just some really good ways to go back and say, how do I want to place some of these trades? If I want to look at almost good stocks, average stocks, and there's times you're going to want bad stocks. We'll cover those in your live class. Maybe you say, how about some dividends? What's a really good dividend stock? Click over here on details. Maybe you're looking for some extra cash flow and stocks that pay a dividend. Now, here's how these are ranked. Doesn't mean you're going to want these, so I'm just going to go over them really quickly, but here's how these are ranked. They're ranked from the ones that have the highest yield to the lowest yield. So this stock here pays 23% a year. If you buy this stock, it doesn't even move a penny, you'll make 23% on your money. However, that dividend has been decreasing, and it's an average stock that's overvalued, and the trend's not in an uptrend. So typically what I like to do is just kind of scroll down the right-hand side until I see a trend that I like that's got 2 green check marks. So I want to see a stock that's in an uptrend, not in an uptrend, not in an uptrend, not in an uptrend. So I just go down until I see a stock that's in an uptrend, here, uptrend, but I don't have 2 green check marks. So I want uptrend, 2 green check marks, and I want to see a good stock. So I'll just go to the next page. And I can do this really quickly as I kind of scroll down. So now we go to the next page, and again, we're just looking for a stock. It's in an uptrend. This one's in an uptrend. It's valued well, but it's an average stock. So you just keep on going down, and I can just scroll through 25 stocks at a time here, just really quickly. And sometimes you're going to have to go down a ways until you find a really good stock that you're really interested in. Now, so here's a really good quality stock. It pays 8.66% a year just by owning it for cash dividend. That dividend's increasing, it's undervalued, but it's moving which direction? Down. Do we want that one? No. So we go down. And again, there are 1,559 stocks on here that pay a dividend. And scroll down to the next page. Usually we got to get to about page 4 or 5 before I find a stock that I'm really interested in. So here's a stock that's in an uptrend. It's really close right here. So this stock here, you can see it's just kind of starting to move higher right now. The ticker symbol is ABR, just starting to move higher. Analyst target price is 1983. Ooh, the fair value is 1834. That's the exact same price the stock is right now, 1834. So that really probably was a green check mark on Friday. So we have starting to move higher, 2 green check marks. The dividend's increasing 18% a year on average. It pays right now, if you buy the stock, 7.63% a year. Even doesn't move a penny. You get 7.63%. The dividends, that's an almost good stock. Ticker symbol is ABR. And when's the last time you heard anybody on TV say, hey, you know what? You should pay attention to ABR because that's a really good quality stock that pays a massive dividend and is fairly valued, and it's currently in an uptrend. You never hear that kind of stuff. I don't remember anybody ever telling me that. But it's a really good way to go back and find some dividends. And we'll talk about dividend stocks in your live class as well. So if I want to look at some dividend stocks, just undervalued stocks, some popular ETFs, if you're thinking about managing your portfolio, what stocks are coming up on earnings pretty quickly? So the earnings calendar stock. And I can see that Zoom Video has earnings coming up on Monday. Last time they announced earnings, they beat earnings by 54%. The previous time they beat earnings by 72%, and they're a good quality stock. So here's a stock that has a history of outperforming expectations, and it's coming up with earnings on Monday. It might be a stock you want to pay attention to. Previous stock beneath that, this is a nice one and a nice uptrend here. Uptrend, good stock, has a history of outperforming expectations, has earnings come up on Monday as well. These are ones for people who are looking for a really quick profit. You're trying to get in on Monday and out on Monday, just playing the earnings type of a trade. So that's the earnings play. And again, you don't have to understand these. I'm just kind of giving you a tour of the website through here. Some of our elite cover calls. What are some of the best cover calls? How to protect your cover calls. If you buy a cover call, how do you protect it if it starts to go against you? Those are the cover call callers over through here. Our list of Canadian stocks for our Canadian traders. Stocks that have just absolutely the best fundamental stocks in the entire stock market that are trading under the analyst target price. So all of these are just the best fundamental stocks in the database that are all undervalued and trading under what the analysts think the stock should be as well. Beneath that section right here is called the EPS growth sector, and we're about 3/4 of the way through, so just kind of stick with me here. But EPS growth sector, and here I can go back, and these are all the different sectors of the stock market: utilities, consumer staples, aerospace, all the different sectors of the stock market. And this is an excellent way to find a really good stock to invest in. So find the areas, and this is in real estate terms, you're trying to say, I'd like to find some houses to invest in as a real estate investor, but show me the neighborhoods that are expected to appreciate the most this year and next year. So I can just say earnings per share, which just means profit this year. If I click on that, right now, retail wholesale is expected to increase by 59% this year. They're expected to grow their profits by 59% this year, and next year by 12%. Wow. Consumer discretionary, oils and energy this year and next year, massive gains. Transportation this year and next year, massive gains on here. So if I'm thinking about trying to find something to go back and trade, why don't I kind of go back and maybe stick with one of these areas to trade in? Now I can click right through here and just trade a chart of the entire sector. And I can see right now it's on a little bit of a pullback, If it starts to now make a higher high, I would jump all over this trade because it's expected to have massive gains this year and next year in profit. And right now there's a little bit of profit taking from the institutions, but if we can start making another higher high here, now I'm going to buy this whole neighborhood in one chunk at a really low price. I like that. Or I could just go back and say, if I like that area here, whatever I was just looking at, was it oils and energy, transportation, or I could just click on the transportation link right here. It says transportation, and it takes me here where I can say, what are just all the really good stocks in that sector? Or business services. What are just the really good stocks in the business services? This sector looks really good right now. See how this whole neighborhood's appreciating in price right now? I like that. What are just the good stocks in that sector? Click right through here. And now I can scroll down here, see if I see any really good stocks that I like in this sector that I might be interested in trading. So multiple kind of different ways to take a look at this. And this was just on the page where it's at. We're click on the top of the page. We just clicked under stock scanner page, and up comes the page. And we just scroll down. I can also just say, just show me a chart of what really looks good right now. What neighborhoods are really making some positive moves right now? And I can just go back and trade these neighborhoods. Basic materials. I can see this one right through here is just now starting, went up, went sideways for a while, pulled back, and now it's just starting to move higher. And it's just starting to make some higher lows, which means every time it pulls back, and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So those lows are actually moving up. So that'd be a neighborhood I'm interested in. So what are the good stocks in that neighborhood that I might want to go back and buy right now? So there's many, many really cool ways to go back and use parts of the website through here. And right now you should just kind of be playing around and looking at them and just seeing what does each one do and how could I do this and how can I do that, and just kind of playing around off of these different sectors. So this is all part of the stock scanner page here. You can also just click on stock scanner and just say, just show me the 3 green arrow search, or just all of the just really good stock search. Or here's one here. Show me all the stocks that are currently trading under $20 a share. Maybe you're trying to get your kids involved with the stock market. You want to get some less expensive stocks that they can go back and afford. And you click on show me all stocks under $20 a share. And then up they'll all come, and they'll come in order. If we see these when they come up through here. There we go. And they're going to come up in order of good stocks first, to the after good stocks, they'll come up to the almost good stocks after that. And then from there, they'll come to the average and the bad stocks, but good stocks first, and they're ranked with good stocks by volume. And so just start going now back through each one is under 20 and just start looking for a stock that's in an uptrend. Here's one, UMC stock is moving higher. So I can see that just over the last 3 months, it's starting to move higher right through here. It should be worth about $12.66. And it's right now at $11.29. It's a good quality stock. How about this stock? Go back and maybe your kids want to buy something like this, and they can buy this stock right through here at $11.29. And when you buy shares of stock, there are no commissions anymore. It's just one share of stock. It's just $11.29. So if you want to get your kids involved in the stock market, maybe for Christmas and birthdays, you just buy them 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 shares of the stock. And for Christmas, you buy them a different stock. And then for Halloween, maybe you get them a different stock. And maybe for Easter, get them a different stock. They lose a tooth, a different stock. So by the time they get older, they're starting to get a portfolio. Maybe they've only got 4 or 5 shares of each stock, but they've got a portfolio. And in their mind, they're actually an investor. So think about how that's going to change their whole perception of where their future is going to go if they know that they're learning to be an investor versus they're learning to be an employee, which is what they're going to learn at school, by the way. So you just kind of scroll down here and find some other stocks you might be interested in. How about this one here? BCS, Barclay, finance stock, 3 million shares a day, trading right at $10.39, and it's worth about $61 a share. Man, buy 2 shares of that for your kid right there. 2 shares of stock, banking stock. And after a while, they say, you know what? They can walk into a Barclays bank someplace, and they'll say, walk around, look around, and say, you know what? I own part of this company, don't I? Could you imagine what the teller's going to look at when they see him say something like that? Pretty cool. So lots of really cool scans on here. We're going to go a lot through these here. Earnings calendar, elite cover calls, ETFs. What are some of the best ETFs through here? A lot of just really good stuff. Now, the last part I want to cover over here is part of this portfolio management watch list area. And let's start over here first with asset allocation right here in the middle section, asset allocation, and then we'll end with watch list. All right, so many of you, as you get into this, you might decide at some point in the future that you want to start to manage some of your own money. And just because of how much is actually being taken out of your portfolio. Now, these, and by the way, we're money managers as well. We do manage money. Our minimum to get in is about $400,000. So I know it's a lot of money for a lot of people, but the reason for that is that we just have too many people coming across. We don't have enough traders to actually spend time in the accounts to make sure we have enough of that. So we've kind of set the bar a little bit high. I apologize about that, but it's just the way it is. So for many of us, when we first got started, like me, when I first got started in the stock market, didn't have very much money, it's just kind of right through here, and it says, what's your current age? And this would be the same thing as if you went to any money manager anywhere in the U.S. And let's just say, and I'm just going to put down 45 as an example. When do you want to retire? And this has to be more than 45. You can't say 20. So the average person is probably going to say 65 years old. Would you like to be in an aggressive or conservative portfolio? Now, as you're younger, you obviously want that to be aggressive, but you start getting, upper 50, 60 years old, you probably want to change that to a little bit more conservative. But in the meantime, you're just going to probably put aggressive. What's the current value of your portfolio? Maybe it's 25 grand, maybe it's 50, maybe it's 75, maybe it's 100. Maybe you've got a 401k someplace at work. So I'm just going to go ahead and put you've got 100,000, and I'm just putting it down. You put in whatever you want here. I'm just using a general example here. Maybe it's only 10,000. When I first started investing, I had 5,000. That was my total portfolio. Do you want to add additional funds per month? And right now you can say, no, I'm not going to add additional funds. I just want to manage what I currently have. Then it says, calculate the breakdown. And then up it comes. And it just tells you right now that as of your first year, about 44% or $44,000 of your money should be in equity ETFs, not mutual funds, but ETFs. And we'll cover these at your class, why it's important. 21% should be in international equity ETFs, 7% in bond funds, 18% in income funds. And these are just ones that pay like a dividend. 10% in REITs, which is real estate investments, and 0 in cash. Now, as you get older, these numbers change. They get heavier towards the bottom and lighter towards the top. And this just tells you right through here, at your current level, and if you put 44% of your portfolio in equity ETFs, and if we just go back over the last 50 years, what does the overall market do? What does each sector do? And these are kind of weighted towards where we are today. But this just tells you that if you followed that, just put your money in there, just left it there today and didn't do anything else, each year, what should your portfolio be worth each year at whatever age that you're at? So then we kind of come across, and it says by the time you're ready to retire at 65, this is how much money you're going to have in your account. So then you ask yourself, wow, is that going to be enough money for me? $325,000. And if it's not, you can't change how old you are. You can't change when you want to retire. Well, probably a little bit. You can't change how much money you have, but what could you change? What if I want to add additional money? What if I could add an additional $100 per month currently to my portfolio? What would that now change it to be at? So we'll click under our calculate breakdown, and then now it comes back and says at retirement, whoops. There we go. And now it says at retirement, I should have about $371,000. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. But here's what's interesting. Here's what I really want you to pay attention to. So you can see if you need to add more money, or if that's not the case, you might say, I need to have a better rate of return, which is where covered calls would come into. But here's what's interesting. Now this right here, it tells you should have about $371,000. That's if you do it yourself. If you pay somebody else 1% to manage your money, your portfolio is going to now go from $371,000 to $289,000. The difference of that is what they're going to keep for managing your money at 1% over the next 20 years. Wow. Could you imagine? So you say, why am I paying someone to do this for me? Because what are you paying for them? It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but over the next 20 years, it actually pays down to about $90,000. That's a lot of money. You're going to give somebody else $90,000 of your money just because they did what you could do. So it tells you right here where your money should be. 44% should be in some equity ETFs. You say, well, I don't know what equity ETFs to be in. Wouldn't it be really cool if somebody who knew what they were doing actually said, click here to see a really good list of some really cool equity ETFs? Click on it, and up comes a list of a whole bunch of equity ETFs. Now you go back and say, I'm supposed to have about $44,000 into them, so just go back and look for some that are actually moving where? Higher. So here's this one's $39 a share, so you want to probably get 2 or 3 of these at least and spend about $44,000. This is $39,000, so what if you bought 500 shares of this? Maybe you bought 300 shares of this. There's your $44,000. And so you buy the ticker symbol XLI, you go to your brokerage firm or call them online and say, I want 300 shares of XLI and I want 500 shares of XLF. Now you just spent your $44,000. You go back to where you were just at and say, okay, well, I should have about $21,000 in some international equity ETFs. And these are just mutual funds that trade like stocks. But the good part is you can also write covered calls on these, which we're going to learn at your class. So where could I find a really good list of some really good international ETFs? I bet if I clicked right there, they'd pop up. And all I'm really looking for is just find some that are moving in an uptrend. And then what you do is just go back and once a year, you go back and you rebalance and just take a look and say, here's one EWW. Mexico ETF. This one here is starting to move into a new uptrend. It's sitting right at a little bit of resistance, about ready to break out. So you just go back and say, I've got $21,000 to spend. Buy one or two of these, like 200 shares or 500 shares, whatever your portfolio takes. And by the time you're done with that, you've got 5 different sectors, and you'll have anywhere between 5 to 8 total ETFs in your account that you can now also write cover calls and get additional money. So some pretty cool stuff you can go back and do with this, which I really like. So instead of paying somebody all that money to manage your money, you can go back and do it yourself. Now, that's if you only had a little bit of money. What if you said, Mike, I got like $500,000 in my IRA right now that I've been having somebody else manage for the last few years, and they're just taking a whole bunch of money out. Where's that $500,000 going to be? If you go back and trade this, it should be worth about 1.6, but that's if you do it yourself. How much is somebody going to take you at 1%? How much is somebody going to charge you? Oh, that 1.6 is now $1.2 million. They're going to take about 400,000 of your dollars to do what we're just doing here right now in 30 seconds. Tell me that's not crazy. Now, once a year, you'd go back and run these numbers again and find out which of your ETFs aren't moving higher anymore, and you would just sell them and buy another one. Or if they're still moving higher, you just keep them. And usually this once a year is all that you do this. We'll talk about this in your class. Just some really cool stuff that we're going to teach you how to actually be better at managing your money. Because think about it, you're going to pay somebody 400,000 of your dollars. Do you know why they think that you're a nice person? Do you know why they send you Christmas baskets? Do you know why they send you birthday cards and Christmas cards? Because they're making 400,000 off of you. And there's not just one of you, they have hundreds of you. A lot of money in the money magic, guys. So I want you guys to learn this yourself. Now, if at some point you learn and say, I still can't do it, then go back and hire somebody else. But you should learn this first yourself. Now, when you have those 7 different stocks that you have, you're now going to go back into your members area up here at the very top once you're logged in the website. And you just click over here where it says watch list. And from your watch list over here, you're going to go back now and just type in your ticker symbol. So one of them we just looked at, I think it was XLF. So you type in, was it XLF? Type it in, and you're going to click add. And now you're going to add XLF to your watch list so that every day when you come back now, you can see here's your XLF. And on one page, you click on watch list, and you can click over here where it says chart on one page over through here. And now go back and look down your list, and you see here's your XLF. Looks okay to me still. And you see all of your charts on one page as you kind of scroll down, look at all your different charts on one page. But more importantly, you can say that, I don't have to do this every day because I have a life. I want to just go back and take XLF. I would like to be able to tell if it ever has 3 red arrows or drops beneath the floor. I want to know. So click the XLF where it says text. And up at the very top, it says, IncomeTrader says, send some text notifications on this. You click OK. And now if your stock for XLF ever gives you, and you do the same thing over here for email alerts, click those both on. And now if you ever get any of those that kind of come through here, there we go. Kind of drag it across here. If you ever get those text messages, it tells you, hey, you got 3 arrows. Now you want to say, I'm probably just going to go back and sell XLF. You can then go back and say, hey, now that I've got $400,000 or $40,000 freed up, you can go back and say, what are some really good ETFs over here, and go back to equity ETFs and find another one that's in an uptrend. Yeah, so lots of really cool stuff here, guys. I want you to kind of play around with the website, see what kind of fun things you can do with this. You're going to learn a whole bunch in your class coming up here. But here's where you got all the different articles that are updated every Wednesday and Sunday. Articles over through here. The search is over here in the stock scanner page. Everything on this page right through here. These are updated all throughout the day. So these aren't updated, once. These are updated all throughout the day. So go back and kind of play with these. The ones over here that say updated at 5:15, these are updated only after the market closes every day. It takes about an hour after the market closes based on wherever you're at for the U.S. market to close. And then we'll go back and give you those details of stocks that are making brand new trends today. But lots of really cool stuff on the website. I want you to play around with it. I want you to get comfortable with it. It's a very, very powerful website. It was specifically meant to find really good quality stocks that are undervalued in an uptrend that you can find to trade in less than 30 seconds. That's what it was really meant for. And then to go back and manage your portfolio after that part is done. So lots of good stuff here for you. I hope that you play around with it and just have some fun with it, guys.